So today what I'll do is I will be creating an app that is related to the recipe finder as well as meal planner. So basically you can find the recipe and then create the meal and so on. So basically a recipe finder and then the meal planner. So that's what we'll do today. So before going forward into the design, I just want to give you a project brief or the information about what I'll be doing in detail. So basically the product that I'll be making is the recipe and the meal planner. And here what I'll be doing is I'll be designing a mobile app that's for the foodies who loves cooking, who loves looking at different recipes and then trying and experimenting with different meals. So that is basically the app. So that's a mobile app. And in this particular mobile app here, what this mobile app should do is it should act as a smart kitchen assistant for the user. Second, the user should be able to explore and find recipes. So the app will have an existing bank of recipes. So user can come online, come onto the app, explore, discover, find basis his preferences, and then make his dishes and so on. And along with that, the user should also be able to upload his own recipes so that that can be shared and that can be used by the community members or the other users. That is one part. The second part or the third part is basically it will show step-by-step guide. So basically step-by-step cooking process, like what should be done at what stage and so on. So that will be done. Along with that, the user should also have a functionality wherein they can create their own meal planner. So basically depending upon the number of days and the time of the day, the date, so plan their own meals. And also, if they want to search something, it could be related to the chefs, it could be related to the ingredients, cuisines, and so on. So basically, there should be an advanced search that will enable them to search the right kind of recipe. And whenever I design any kind of brief, this is how I design. So I put the date, when I'm starting this, and also the major responsibilities. So basically what I'll be doing here is, though the project will involve everything, the complete UX process from the research to the lo-fi design to hi-fi design, then testing and everything. But in this 2 hours time, I'll not be doing everything. I'll be just taking this brief and then doing the rough wireframes and then the lo-fi and hi-fi designs, right? And this particular mobile app will be developed or designed for 2 platforms. So basically iOS and Android. And the end result should be what? End result should be the app or the size of the app could be determined by one, number of downloads, then number of registrations, number of recipes uploaded, shared, then the engagement time, how much time the user is spending on the app, or last should be the revenue. So basically these are at a very high level the key metric that will define the success of the application. And who are developing this? So it's I am developing it as of now, but when you'll be working in the real world, so you'll be working in a team. So there'll be designer, there'll be a copy guy, then there will be the UX researcher. So multiple or many people involved in the process with different skill sets. And then also when you're defining the project brief, you also define what is your scope, which country are you targeting or which region are you targeting, and along with whether it's just for one country or whole world. So you should also mention these kind of things in the project brief. Now there are different UX processes. So some follow British Council's double diamond UX process, which states that the process in which the process is divided into 4 stages. That is basically discovery. You discover about the problem, you discover about the solution, and those things. So basically understanding the user, understanding the business goals, and then their need, their frustration. So those things. So basically what you do is you understand and discover about one, the user goal, and the second is the business goal. And then once you have understood the problem statement, what is the problem that the user is facing, so you start defining different solutions for that. So when in this phase, you might come up with 3 or 4 or many solutions, but you can't create or use multiple solutions to create the solution. So what you do is you select one of the best solution from the multiple solutions that you have, and then you develop that is the third stage. And then after you have developed, tested and everything, you deliver it to the market. So that's the British Council's double diamond process. So there are other processes also. That's basically the design thinking process. Here the entire process is it into 5 stages. So first is the empathize, that's basically understanding the user, right? And then once you have understood that, you start defining things. So basically you start defining different artifacts like personas and the pain points, the empathy map, those things you start defining. Once you're done with that, you start doing ideation on different ideas, as what we discussed in the previous process. In the second stage, that's what you do here. Then once you have the final idea that you want to develop into a final product, you define or create different prototypes, or basically the storyboards, then the lo-fi design, hi-fi design, then the prototyping. And once you're done with that, you do the testing. And what we should also remember, that testing doesn't happen just at the end. It's a continuous process. Basically, you come up with an option, you create some design or a prototype or any kind of ideation or the wireframes. You go and test with the users, with the real users or like with the stakeholders. You keep on testing throughout the process. So this is one process. You can develop your own process, like when you can say my first stage of my process can be understanding the user. The second can be like ideating. The third can be designing, and the fourth can be delivery. And you can evolve your process as you will spend more time in this industry. So when we are designing the solutions or the product, so these are different factors, and it's a very, very important factor or important model. And I recommend every designer to be aware of this particular model, and it's called as the Honeycomb model. And Peter Marvel was the person who came up with this idea. And this says that your product will have a better user experience if the product is, one, useful, the other is usable, the third is desirable, then findable, accessible, and credible. So it means that the user will use the product if he thinks that it serves some purpose. If the product is not serving any purpose, the user will not use your product. And it should be usable. It means like it should have the right usability factor in it, and it should be desirable. It should have that image, or emotionally it should like connect with you, and then the user will use the product. Then findable is basically if the user is there on the app to find something for a particular goal, then that goal should be solved within that app. Accessible is basically across all platforms it should be accessible, and even people who are like deaf, or like people have some hearing problem or something, then you should use the accessibility factors and then define the right solution for them. Similarly, it should be credible. It should come from the right sources, not from someone who's a scammer and like cheating people and so on. So it should come from a credible source. So these are at a very high end that defines the success of your product. Along with the factors, we also should focus on few principles, and the principles are basically whenever you're working on a UX process or creating a product using UX principles, UX process. So in that case, you need to remember that you're creating the product for the real users and not for like someone virtually or from the user that you created off your mind, because you will be working for the real products or the real users basically. And in that case, if you want to create for the real, you need to understand their pain points. You need to understand and be in touch with them to understand what they need and what goals they wish to accomplish by using a product. So you need to understand those things. And along with that, you also need to understand what are the business goals. Why is the business investing so much money, resources, everything to create that particular product? And as a UX person, it's your responsibility to align what one is the user goal and the other is the business goal. And once there is a perfect alignment, then the process runs smoothly and you are able to create a better product. Then since the different peoples are involved in the process, some can be the UX researchers, some could only be the designers, or could be the UI designers, I mean to say, and then the copywriters, the developers, the product managers, project managers. There are so many people involved in the entire UX process. So you should remember, like, where do you fit in? At what stage you bring in your skills into the process. So you should understand that and contribute in that part of the process. Then whenever you're doing some or defining some process or experience, then you should always do that using data, not by having like a general discussion, but like backing all the decisions by data, by research, and so on, right? And whenever you're design for the mental model of the users. Think from the user point of view, like what users would do in that context, and then discuss with the user and find out like whether you're on the right track or not. So This means you keep testing with the user in regular intervals so that you are doing the right thing and you are developing the right product. Then when you're designing the product, so this is basically related to the experience designing and also the UI designing. So design with consistency. Each and every element should be consistent. So if certain call to action is performing or the design of a certain call to action is doing some major role, then that experience should follow across. Similarly, if you're portraying or putting the success message in a particular format, then do in that format throughout the app. Just don't keep changing the experiences and the visual clues for the users. Otherwise, the user will get frustrated and he might not be able to stick to your app. Then it should be usable, accessible, and don't complex your UI or the experience. Don't put in a lot of information or chunk in a lot of information on one screen. Break that screen and into multiple screens. Similarly, use simple languages. Don't use technical jargons, and basically use simple language so that the user can understand what you're trying to tell. And use right kind of typography, because typography plays a big role. And then feedback matters. That is basically keep taking feedback from the user and then keep evolving your product. And then the core is testing. So test again and again and again and again, and during the process, after delivering the product and so on. So testing is the key here. So keep testing with the users. And also when we're developing the mobile app, we should remember the features that is inbuilt into the device. Device means like the mobile device as such. So mobile device has got like different features or the functions. So basically it has cameras. So if your app needs the use of the camera, then you make use of that, Similarly, there are other things like microphone, contact list. You can easily access contact list. So this could be like easily you can use this for social sharing and so on. Similarly, you have GPS. So if there is something which needs the GPS feature, you should use it to the best advantage of your product. Phone calls, last call made, received, missed calls. So those can be used depending upon the type of the product you are making. So accelerometer, compass, then touch. So it's all about touch. So touch, you should use that feature because we have got like different kind of touch, like swipe, then tap, double tap, So we should use those in your app to increase interaction. Similarly, there are other advanced features like NFC, IRC, sensors, face readers, and at times, if we are able to use those features, we should use in our app. Now, so those were at a very high end, like how the app should be, what should be the principle that we should follow when designing the app. Then what are the other things that makes app good? So one, if the app is not built on a good idea, it won't survive. People might come to your app, it might have the best experience, best interaction. If it is not solving certain problem, it is of no use. So your app should be built on a great idea. Similarly, if you don't know the user, you'll not be able to develop the right product, right experience. I'll go deep into this because I have to design the wireframes and so on. But I just wanted to give a highlight, or at a very high level, wanted to tell you like what are the different things that you need to remember when designing the app. So good business model is also important. Otherwise, what will happen? You might not be able to survive after 6 months if your business or app is not generating revenue, or if you're not able to survive your business, then you will not be able to continue with this app. So it might die in like 6 months or 1 year. So good model is important. Then defining right scope and features. So this I'll discuss at the later stage. So your app should have the right features and it should help the users solve certain goals. And yes, your app should have the right user experience. Then this is a very important thing. So basically, the app should personalize the experience. If I am the user, the app should talk to me as a person. It should be talking to me, and it should every experience, all the experience should be personalized to me. So personalization is important in the experience designing. Similarly, since it's a mobile and we can use or leverage the push notification feature, we should use it wherever we can to gamify or personalization and so on. And seamless UI should be there. You should use a design system to create your experiences or the UIs. Similarly, consistency should be there in all your designs. And since it's a mobile and it is touch friendly, so more of the touching should happen and less of keyboarding. So you should seek or ask less information from the user and make him do more on the screen. And for the users who are not that tech savvy, or for the other kind of users also, you should create an experience which is very easy. So basically, for the first time users, the onboarding should be very easy. And the second part here is like the helpful customer care. So if they're stuck with something and if they want to connect with someone, there should be a contacts module within the app so that they can contact someone so that the problem is solved. So that should be there. And this is more from the technical side, but right technology should be there, and it should be device agnostic. So it should work perfectly and in the similar manner on all the devices, whether it's Android, whether it's a 6.5 inch device, or like a 5.5 inch device, or any kind of device, or it's by any brand. So it should work, or the experience should be similar on all the devices. Fast loading, high performance, this is key. Then yes, since you're taking a lot of personal information from the user, the information should be secure. Geolocation integration should be there as and when required. Then yes, this advanced analytics is for the developers, the project managers. So this will help them improve the experiences by getting insights on what's happening on the app by using the analytics. And since we have this social media everywhere, so we should use this social media capability in our app, within our app. Search option should also be there. Mobile payment also can be there, should be there in the app if required. And if required, like make use of the loyalty features for gamifying your app. User feedback is the key, so keep taking user feedback. And if your app has some feature which can work offline, then well and good. It should work offline also. But if it can't, like in the case of payments and all, so it's fine. But if your app can use this offline capability, you should develop that feature. So perfect. So this is what at a high end you should understand, like what the app can be, or what since we are working or using the mobile device, what all we can use to create the right experience and at our own benefit. Now, okay, so we talked about this project brief. So basically, I will be designing an app. So it's basically recipe finder and meal planner app, and I use this feature, this Moscow prioritization or Moscow method, to prioritize what should go within the app and what should not go within the app. So basically, during the research, during the discussions and defining the solutions, what happens is like the team comes up with a lot of feature sets, like a lot of modules, a lot of things that could be done on the app. But doing everything is not possible. So here, what we do is like we define what could go into the feature and what could be part of the MVP. So that's the minimal viable product. So we use this particular method to analyze and find those. So basically, Moscow means, so M stands for must have. So these are those features that needs to go into the app, without which the app won't work or we won't solve the problem. So must have is those. So after the research, when you have the list, you define like what are the M features, or like the must have features. Then you also start evaluating like, okay, so must. We have defined like what are the must, but what could also be there, like what should also be there basically. So you define those also. And then after you have defined must and should, you define like what are the could have features that can enhance the experience. So you try and define those, and what you do is you don't integrate that into the initial phase of the product, but you need to integrate those at the later stage. And then the final is the will not have. This is those features or those experiences that you will never have on the app. So after this method, after using this method, you have a clear understanding of what will go into the app and what won't go into the app. Right. So now we have this. So by doing, I did some research, and basis my understanding, I came up with these high-end feature lists. So basically, when the user is on the app, he should be able to explore the recipes and save or bookmark the recipes. Right. The second is if he is himself a foodie and he loves cooking, then he should be able to create your own recipe, upload, and so on. And then if he's a cook, he can cook delicious food by looking at different recipes and or by watching different videos, right? And then while watching the videos, he might see that he might figure out, or he might know that he doesn't have some of the ingredients, so he can create a shopping list out of those lists. So he should be able to create your own shopping list. This is at a very high end, but again there will be other features also. So we'll discuss when I'm doing the wireframing, we'll discuss that too. And here the key is like it should be personalized. If I'm Manprit and I like Indian food or Chinese or Japanese food, so my feed should be personalized to me. So personalization becomes a key here, and we'll try to see like how we can create that experience. Then I also figured out that these are the important modules or the elements that should go into creating the experience. So these are at the very high level features, like the features that should be there in the app. So basic recipe should be there. Then something called as like meal planner, where where the user can plan the meal, and then different kind of cuisines, and then other things. Then search, filter, cooks, contributors. So these are basically all the people who are uploading the recipes, and then step-by-step cooking videos. Then popular stuff like popular recipes, popular cooks. Then even the pro recipes by the professionals. So this is the paid section where people will have to pay some money to access those recipes. Then personalization will happen on the app. Then my collection is basically my bookmarks. My shopping list is the ingredients that I will have to buy to cook some dishes. And then social sharing should be there. Then my account, wherein like I can personalize everything. I can update my email, update my phone number, and so on, and log out and other things. And then few settings related to notification and so on. So basically, these are the feature set that I could think of. And when researching, I figured out that these are the different kind of diets, then cuisines, then ingredients. So I'll use this when designing the wireframes and the designs. So I'll share my screen, a different laptop, and I'll start doing the rough wireframes first. So what I have done is I've done my research here. So I've done my basic brainstorming. So if you can see this, so I've done my basic research, basic ideation. So these are all the wireframes that I've done. So I'll try to use this to create wireframe on the device, and then we'll create the actual design on the sketch. Can you see this? I think that's it. So let me start with the wireframes. So what is the name of the app? The name of the app is Recipe Finder and Meal Planner. Right, so let's start with the. So what happens, like as soon as the mobile app opens, so for the first time users, what you do is like you create some walkthrough screens or the intro screens. So let's do those screens first. So pardon my handwriting because I'm writing on the screen, so this might not look so good. Okay, so what will happen is like in the intro screens, we'll put a logo, and then we'll do something like we'll have some tagline. So it could be cook delicious or something like that, and or we'll have get started, and or we can remove this. We'll have some big image or something, and then continue. We can have like multiple of these screens, and then once it does continue, we can have a simple login screen. So basically, we can ask them email, phone, and what? Email, phone, and name. Full name and continue. Right? So once this happens, what happens? What will happen? OTP screen will come. Right? So the user will have to enter some number here, the OTP, and continue. So once this is done, since this is the first time user, what will happen is we'll ask them to personalize. So we'll show them some screens, and this is basically we'll ask them the diets. So as we saw in the Excel, so we'll try and show that. So basically we'll ask them to select their preferred diet type, and we can have like multiple diet types. Like we could have preference for healthy diets, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can list those, and once they tap, we can ask them to select. Right? Similarly, we'll have others. So this can be second. This could be the third type, and then we can have continue. So once this is done, so this is basically the diets. Similarly, we can ask other things like what are their goals? What are the goals of the user? Why is he here? He could have multiple goals. So we can ask them those goals, and we can ask them to continue. So basically, if he selects any of these goals, he can select all or select 1 or 2, and then that will help us personalize his experience or feed. So once this is done, so we can create his dashboard. We can show a loading screen like personalizing dashboard for you, something like this. And then once this is done, then comes the main screen, and this is basically the landing screen or the home screen, the dashboard. So let's call this as dashboard. So basically we can have a big heading here, explore recipes. We can have a big search here, and we can also have the user's profile pic here, and this will help in basically personalizing the experience. Along with that, what we should have is like we should have something like this, because what is the first thing that he will do? He will explore the recipes. This is basically his personalized recipes. This collection can be my bookmarks, and then pro could be all the pro recipes, so paid recipes, right? And then we can start creating experiences for this. So this can be the first recipe, similarly the second, third, and others. We can have swipe here, and here we can have name. We can have the person who contributed. So those things. So those I will define in the design, right? So this is perfect. Now next what? So since he's on a social platform, we should also show the most popular recipes as per his preferences. So popular recipes. And when we are designing this kind of things, we should always break the the design of the pattern. We should not just keep repeating the same. So we should break the pattern. So that's why when doing this design, what I've done is I've created a different sized a box size. Okay, so we'll use that, and then we'll have some details here. So I'll add in the final design, and once we are done that, what we can do is, because it's a platform and people would promoting some people who are uploading more recipes, or like sharing more, or spending more time on the platform. So we should promote those people. So popular chefs, we can promote them. I hope you all getting this. And now what else should be there on the screen? Thank you, Ulti. Yeah, please keep giving me feedback so that I know like if I'm on the right track, or I'm talking too fast. And what else? We can have some videos. Okay, we can have videos, and we'll see like what other things we can have. And then we'll have quick menu for him. We can have what? This can be the explore. This can be the what could be there? So yeah, it could be my collection. This can be the meal planner. And this could be the, what could be there? So we talked about 4 things. So this can be my shopping cart, and then we can also create one more. And this is for the others. So basically settings and those things, right? So this is basically at a very high level the dashboard. And now let's do the other screen. Now suppose someone clicked on any of the recipes, like suppose this one. What will happen? What should happen? We can have a big image of that final cooked food or dish. And we can even have a video, right? And here what we'll have is like add to my collection. Similarly, share can be there. Then the name of the dish, then rating of this dish if we can, like 4.5 or something. And what are the ingredients? How many ingredients were needed to cook this food? Like 12 ingredients. And then how much calorie it has, like 1 kg or like 500 gram. We can mention that. How much time it takes to cook? It can be like 3/4 hour or like 45 minutes or something like that. 45 minutes. XXX calories, and so on. And then we can have the ingredients. So this could be the ingredients, and this could be the selection part. So that means like it will get added to the shopping cart. So we can have the cart here or somewhere, and it will automatically go into the cart. And apart from this, what else should be there? It's this steps to cook, or nutrients. So what nutrients it has, so we can put that here. Similarly, we can have steps to cook. So 1, 2, 3, and so on. And after that, we should also have the reviews. Okay, so before reviews, who's the cook? cook, his profile, his image also we can have here, and then reviews. And at the end, this is basically marketing, so related or more by this particular cook. By this cook, and we can again show the different recipes. Right? I hope this is good. And so this is done. And then we can also have a cook's profile, right? So this is cook or chef, so we can create a profile for him also. And here what will happen is we'll have a big image, him cooking or something like that, or and a name, and then if rating is available, we'll give that. Then how many recipes he has uploaded, so you can say 21 recipes he has uploaded. And we can also have something like his level, or like he's a starter in this. So basically we can have at what level he is started on his just started on the platform, and then it's all recipes, right? So this is at a very high level, and basically what happens is like, so here what we see is these recipes are repeatable component, so you don't need to define that in each screen. So when doing the wireframing, what you can do is you can define that widget or the module at one place, and then refer to it whenever you're discussing with someone. You can refer to with them that this is how the widget will look like. So basically there will be a big image, then name of the dish, and then rating 4.5, then how much minute it will take to cook, 45 minutes. Then is it level is hard to cook or easy to cook, then, and what else, calories, etc. Whatever you can put it here. So you don't have to repeat in each screen. So you can just create that model at one place, and then show it to the users or the stakeholders to take feedback. Now that I've got this wireframes, so this is a very quick wireframe, but when actually you are working on the real product, you will take a lot of time to create this. You'll ideate a lot. You'll discuss with your teammates. You'll discuss with the cooks, chefs, and the users and people who are very much into cooking. What else they need? What else are their expectations from the app? So you'll have a lot of discussions with them, a lot of contextual interviews with them, and also you'll try to have. You'll talk to them, you'll see like how they cook, and suppose they're uploading their own recipe, what are the different factors that needs to be considered to define that experience, and so on. So there are a lot of things to be done, but I'll not go that deep. So this is a very this is a 2 hours or 1.5 hour workshop, where like I'm just showing you like what is the process and how we go from the basic brief to the wireframe, and then wireframe to the design. So now that I have this, so I'll get into the design. I'll start doing the design. So I'll use Sketch app to do the design. So let me open the app. So can you see my screen now? Yes, everybody? Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. So let's start. So basically, I'll be making this design for iOS. So I'll take the artboard for iOS. So I go to the A. That's the A is a shortcut, or if I go to this plus sign and then click on artboard, so I get this panel on the right. So I can click on which device type. So I go to the Apple device, click on whichever I want. So I want to make for iPhone 11 Pro. So this is one size 375 by 812. So let me take this. So keep asking me if you are not able to figure out what I'm doing. Just send me a message on chat. So here what I'm doing is I'm just trying to first put all the text at one place, and then we'll start doing the design. So these are the initial walkthrough screens. So let me see what I can do. I'll do some design here. download some images from pixels.com. Let me use those pictures. Let's see which will look nice. So you'll have to test when you're designing. So you'll have to test with, you use image, test, see how it looks, and then change and or modify. So I might use this black and white theme. So let's try with this theme. And if I'm using that as black and white, I can keep this as bright color. Let me see. Or let's keep this as white, and we'll change this. So you will have to be very selective with the kind of images you'll be using for your app. Also the fonts. So let me use Proxima Nova, bold. This is too big, so let me use this. You have to play around with everything, with the line height, with the character spacing. So when creating this kind of design, so what I also do is I parallelly start creating my own style guide. Perfect, I think this is good. Parallelly, what I also do is I also start putting the guidelines and everything so that I'm using the right spacing and so. So let's me put the style guide, the guideline. And we need some button, something to take them to the next screen. So let's create that button too. For the icons, we can use some icon library. So in this case, what I'll use Google Material Icon, or we can find some icons from the different libraries. So let me use from my noun project. But ideally, what you should be doing is like you should be creating each and every icon yourself. So here what I do is I generally create a symbol so that I follow same pattern. So icons, then forward, something like this, and click this, and then I start resizing. So this should be around 24, and this should also be around 24. I think this is good. It needs to be white, so I'll change the color to white. And then I can increase the size. So one screen is done. So let's create the other screens. So when doing the real design, you'll be spending more time on each screen. So, but for this session, I'm just trying to be quick. And here, the user might have to go back, so we'll just to, and we'll reduce the size to something smaller. It's too small, so let's make it 32 and see. Align this properly. And then rotate this. We'll use some more other image here. So let's use some image. This is what create your own recipe. So let's use some person's image. Now let's create the third one. So you can try different images and see like which one is good. This is the same image. Let's give this some timing, and then the final can be the and see in this case what's happening is the copy is less. So what we do is like we tweak with the copy and so that it comes in two line. So for the time being, we'll keep it as it is, but when doing the actual design, we follow that. Perfect. So we have got this, and now what will happen is like the registration should happen. So we'll remove all these images. And get started. What we can do is we can have, so this is the first time, so we'll have to ask for a few details. So what are those details? We'll just see. I'm creating this input component here, so let's come to the and create a symbol. So basically form input, this is not filled. Now let's go inside and modify this. So the height should be around 45. Okay, now this can be the full name. Also, when doing this is disable state, so we'll not fill state, so we'll keep it light. Mobile number. And this will be email. That's it. So we'll need this information. And also we can ask for profile pic. And now I'll create the button. For this button, I want this to be fully curved, so I'll go inside. I will curve this. I don't want this. I want this to be 44. Perfect. And when creating the designs, we should also preview and see like how the design is looking. So let me preview also and see. So I'll go here, preview and see how it's looking. So this is how the app is looking at present. Let's see the other screens too. So this is, I'll create symbol for this also. Input, button, disabled. So you can't see the screen? Sketch is visible now?
Yeah, we can see the lorem ipsum screen.
Check now?
Yeah, now it's visible.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I went onto full screen, so that's why I think. Okay, fine. So see what I have done. I have created this screen, so empty screen, and this was basically wherein like the user has not filled anything, and as soon as the user starts filling, so this will start becoming active. So now they become button will become enabled, and then this will also change. So I'll design this input module also. So let me design this. So that was not filled, and this will be filled. So what will be the look and feel of the filled one? So it will be basically this, and then this, and this should be small. So let's make this small. This should be 10. And this should come here, and this should be, where is the, I think there's too much of space, so I'll take it up. Now you can start putting the value here. So this is, you can put, and number you get, okay, number, there's some problem here. Perfect, we've got this now. Now we'll start creating the other screen. So those are basically where we'll be personalizing few stuff for them. So I have not created the OTP screen, so we can create OTP screen also in between, but I'll skip that because I have to create the other screens. So after this, what will happen is once the account is registered or created, we'll show some we'll start introducing personalization. So till the time everything is loading, we can put some message here, and once everything is done, so it will automatically go to the next screen. Yeah, so loading is happening. It's loading. Perfect. So once the loading is done, we'll show the main dashboard, and then this will be a little longer. So I'll just start making this longer. So okay, this is gone. Now we have this coming here. Okay, I missed one thing. So basically there should be a back arrow also here. So we'll have to introduce this back here. So I'll introduce it here. And this is the dashboard. So and then what will happen is we'll have a search, and this is search, so we'll put search here. So I'll not be creating the icons as for now, but in actual, when doing design, we create each and every icon. Because if we'll download, we might not get the right width, the stroke. So search is here. Now what we have to do is, like, we have to start putting three things. So basically, first one in the wireframe was explore. We have to reduce the font size. So font size should be around 18. I think this is good. Then we'll have collection. That's my collection. And then last is the row. This is paid. I can now create a tab here. And this should be very light. So let's use this color. That. This should be orange. So I'll pick the orange color. Stroke increase. And this should break out. Okay, so we have this now. So we'll try to maintain the spacing. We can reduce the size to highlight the first one. And now we have this. So what's next? So next should be putting the recipes together. Yep, this looks good. Sorry, you can't hear me?
We lost you.
Okay. Now good or still problem?
I think for past 2-3 minutes it was blank. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I saw that. Yeah, I have had problem, internet problem. Now it's good. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, this is good. I don't know, some problem with the internet. I think this today. I don't know what's happening. So you see, like how from the wireframe, so wireframes we are getting to the visual design. So just by changing the images, you'll see like things will start improving a lot. So like big changes. Let me put this. Your all design depends upon so many different things. The fonts you're using, the colors you're using, the images, in what proportion you're using the images. A lot of things. So we got this part. Now let's check the spacing. So we got the first part. Now let's go to the second part. Second part is basically the popular recipes. So there are different ways to distinguish different elements or like different modules. Since this is one component made of different modules, so how can you distinguish between the two or separate the two different components, either by giving space or putting some line or something, But I'll keep this space so that it will look more clean and better. So I'll keep it that way. So let's go to the second part. And 1, 2, and now here, since I can't keep the same design, so I'll do some modification here. So I will increase the width here. So I got this now, and I can make this as one line. I can take this up, and yeah, I think this is good. So let me put something. Let's solve something first. This is good. And you can since this is a big real estate, so you can put a lot of things here. Like you can put the image of the cook, or in order to make it look good, you can even decrease the opacity so that it looks good. It should merge with the background image. Let's keep it 85. And then we can also we can put a lot of other things like how many views, how many shared, and all those things. So we can put that here. So we can put some info here. And how can we do that by creating a gradient here. So let me create a gradient. So okay, just this. So this, something like this you can create and then you make it look good. So this can be one module. Perfect. So let's lock this and use some other image. Something which is dark, it will look good. Let's use this. So we have this. Now let's put the next section. We can put so I can reduce the size further. So let's make it 60. Or even smaller, I think. Let's preview and see. I think this is good. Is this looking good? Yeah, so we'll make it look good and this will become a real app. It's only like 1.5 or 2 hours, so that's why I can't like make everything. But so basically, like if you have the complete idea and understanding of like what you're doing, so you can completely design. Once you have done all your research, everything, so like max 2-3 days you can design the experience and also the prototype. So today what I'll do is I'll just complete this page, and then later I think like in some other session I'll do the complete design. I'll conduct like one more session on this, right? Because let's make this complete app. This is looking so good. So and when making these kind of designs, it becomes easy when you start creating modules or the components. So basically, in my design, what I can do is I can create this as one module and this as one module. Similarly, this as one module and this as one module. So different modules. Similarly, I can create component for this. So this heading can be one component, and I can keep repeating that particular component. So since this is a quick session, so I'm not creating those components, but in some other sessions I'll teach you like how to do those things also. Right, now I'll increase the color for this. Let me use this one, the second one. Or is it good or no? I think this is good. And here what I'll do is I'll increase the font of this to 10 or something and make it bold or medium, and we'll put here like the number of recipes, so like 32. So she has uploaded 32 recipes. Perfect. So we have this component ready now. Now I'll keep the spacing between the two as 10 pixels and we'll just perfect. And by just changing the images, we can make this look good. Some even might be contributing as a couple, so we can put the couple image too. Now let's see one more image. Right, so we have this, and then we can put something like, let me show you, not this one. You can put the call to action between something like this, or how can you can put something like this here. So there are different ways, or you can also put something like there are different ways to put the actions. Now we have this publisher, then we can put some videos. right? So this can be one video. Let's put anything. And here we'll have to create one icon. So let's create the icon also. I misplaced the icon, so let me make it again. So this is how you can create videos. So I'll finish this here. I will create the quick menu and then we'll finish this. So let me use this. Okay, so this can go here, and then we'll have we had explore. Okay, let me move this one. Then recipes. Meal planner. Shopping list. And then others. And we can use some icons here. That's something like let's see how it's looking. This is dashboard. Perfect. So can you see the screen? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so start point page. So this is the dashboard that we have created now. So basically we have this big bold text, welcome text, or explore like what is the goal, why people are coming here. That's what we have here. So we have the image, that's the personalization that we're doing. So we have big search because here people will come and search and explore recipes or dishes. So they can come here. So explore is the personalized section. Whatever you personalize or gave or whatever information you gave about yourself, about your preferences. So those things will come here basis that. And then these are the popular recipes. So this is basically the system itself decides and shows the recipes. Then these are the popular chefs on the system. Then we have the videos, and then we'll have the quick navigation at the bottom. So here this font is very light, so we can fix that later. But this is how we like from the wireframe and to the design. This is how we progress. So let's start with the first one. So this is the walkthrough screen, first one. This is the second walkthrough screen. We can experiment with images. We can change images. We can increase, decrease the font size, the content copy, and then we can explore how it looks. So, but this is how we design generally in practicality. And this is good. This is the next one. And this is the fourth. Once they click on next, so we go to the get started page, and that where all the registration happens. And since this is I wanted to reduce the amount of information that I wanted to take during the onboarding or the registration, I kept it very simple. So that's full name, mobile number, email. That's the information that you need, and there is no need of asking for the social media account like Facebook, login with those things. These are very minimal information, and anyone can put in this information. And here I have not designed one screen. That is like once you fill up this form, so one OTP will go. OTP can go to the mobile number or the email, and in the next screen, you can automatically, you can select and put in the OTP. And once that's done, you will land up onto the dashboard, and this is the dashboard. And I think like today we'll keep till here because it's already very late, right? And if you have any question, if you want to ask me anything like about the process, or like where you didn't understood, or you want any other information, or you want to suggest something for the future session, so I would be very happy to learn and take your feedback. And this week I'm conducting on a very important topic. So for all the designers, it will be very important. So I'll be conducting on how to create a good case study for your portfolio. So if you want to learn, if you want to understand the process and understand like what should go into a case study, you are more than welcome to join the session. And yeah, one more thing, like by the end of this month, I'll be also conducting a full workshop, like I think 8 to 10 days workshop on mobile app designing. So if you want to join that too, you can do that. And if you want to join the session, that workshop on designing, so let me share that link too. I've just shared the link of the WhatsApp group for the workshop. So if you want to join, you can join this group, and I'll communicate all the information regarding the timing and days on this particular group. Okay, everybody, then I think like it's too late. You should also go and sleep, take some rest. A lot of studying done.